Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going deep on AI video generation and specifically OpenAI's Sora.
Okay.
You guys are all pretty savvy with this stuff, so we're going to skip AI 101 and get right into the nitty-gritty.
Sounds good.
Remember that crazy demo with the woolly mammoth turning into a robot?
Oh, yeah.
We'll be looking at that and more. So is Sora like the revolution it's made out to be, or is it just hype?
Well, it's definitely shaken things up in the industry.
For sure.
I mean, even a year ago, this whole AI video generation thing was such a niche field.
Yeah.
And now everybody and their brother's trying to be top dog.
So Sora came out back in February with like a ton of buzz.
Right.
Slick websites, social sharing, editing tools. It seemed like OpenAI was trying to make a big statement.
Yeah, they went all out.
But then you've got like Runway's Gen 3 and Kling AI popping up. How are they different?
So Gen 3 is really focused on transforming videos. Like taking one clip and morphing it into another.
Okay.
Like that mammoth to robot thing we talked about.
All right.
It's super complex under the hood, but they've made it surprisingly easy to use.
That's cool.
Now, Kling AI, they've been getting a lot of praise for just how good the videos look.
Oh, really?
They're almost as realistic and detailed as Sora.
Wow. So there's like a real battle for quality going on.
Yeah, definitely.
But what about for people who aren't, tech geniuses?
Right.
Where do these open source things like LTX video and One Video fit in?
Those are the real game changers. I think
Okay.
open source means anyone can mess with the code,
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's this explosion of creativity, and usually it means lower costs, too.
Makes sense.
For creators who are on a budget, those platforms are a godsend.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about Sora's pricing because people have been kind of freaking out about it.
Yeah, it's been controversial.
The basic plan gives you like 5-second videos at 720p.
Right.
And you can't even buy more credits.
No.
Then it jumps up to the Pro plan at $200 a month. Is that even justified?
It's a steep jump for sure.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people feel like for that price, Sora should let you upload your own pictures and videos to play with.
I can see that.
I mean, some of the open source options already do that.
Right. So it seems like OpenAI is banking on like the wow factor to justify that price.
Yeah.
But are the results really that groundbreaking?
They are pretty impressive.
Okay.
We've seen people create these really cinematic storyboards with super smooth transitions.
Cool.
There was this stunning video of a white crane fishing with so much detail.
Wow.
And of course, that astronaut on horseback across the Golden Gate Bridge.
That one's really stuck with me.
It's wild, right?
On the one hand, it's creative and kind of funny, but on the other hand, it's kind of unsettling.
I know what you mean.
Does that show us Sora's potential, or is it like a warning sign about how easy it is to make these fake images?
That's the whole debate around AI video generation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's pushing the boundaries of what we can do, but it's also blurring the lines between what's real and what's made up.
Okay, so we see the good stuff, but what about the bad stuff?
Right.
We've heard some people complaining about clunky transformations and weird glitches in the videos. How big of a deal are these issues?
They're noticeable for sure.
Okay.
Like there was this one video where trucks and trains were morphing, but it just looked so unnatural.
Yeah.
And human actions like eating just look really weird.
Uncanny Valley and all that.
Exactly.
Are these just growing pains or like fundamental problems with the technology?
That's the question, isn't it?
I mean, would paying $200 a month even fix these things?
Hard to say.
Huh.
Some of the limitations might get better with updates, but others could just be baked into how Sora works.
Oh, I see.
Even on the Pro plan, you might still run into those fundamental issues.
So even at $200 a month, you're not guaranteed perfection.
Right.
What are the AI folks saying about all of this?
It's definitely got everyone talking.
Yeah.
A lot of people love how easy it is to use and the creative tools it offers. But those long wait times and the crazy pricing are getting a lot of flack.
Yeah, it feels like OpenAI is trying to make it accessible to everyone, but also give a premium experience to those who pay.
Yeah.
But is that really going to work in the long run?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Especially with all this competition.
OpenAI is going all in on Sora, but it's tough to say if they can stay ahead of the game.
So we've got this platform with huge potential, some big limitations, and a price tag that's making people sweat.
That about sums it up.
Where do we even go from here?
Well, let's take a closer look at Sora's remix feature, the one that made that mammoth transformation happen.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of what Sora can do and what it still struggles with.
Right.
It'll give us a better sense of how the whole thing works under the hood.
Okay, let's do it. All right, so this remix feature.
Right.
How does Sora actually make these crazy transformations happen? Is it magic, or is there some serious tech going on behind the scenes?
It's definitely some high-level tech stuff. It's like algorithmic wizardry, you could say.
Okay.
Oh. Imagine this Sora takes that video you give it,
Mm-hmm.
and it breaks it down into individual frames like a flipbook.
Okay.
It analyzes every little thing, the object, their movements, the whole scene.
Wow.
And then based on what you tell it to do with your text prompt,
Yeah.
it starts to change those elements frame by frame.
So it's not just like slapping a robot costume on a mammoth.
No.
It's actually redrawing everything to make it look real.
Exactly.
Wow.
It has to figure out how things move in 3D space, how the light and shadows work, and how to keep everything looking consistent throughout the whole transformation.
That's crazy.
It's a super intense process for the computer.
That makes sense why those wait times can be so long.
Yeah.
But even with all that computing power, we still see those glitches.
Yep.
The weird movements, the uncanny valley thing.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean Sora doesn't really get how the real world works?
It shows how hard it is for AI to copy all the little details of reality. Think about how a person would do that mammoth to robot thing.
Okay.
We just know how the weight would shift, how the legs would move differently,
Right.
how the texture and material would change.
And we'd probably think it's kind of funny, you know, a robot mammoth.
Exactly.
And we put some humor into it.
Right.
So it seems to miss that creative part.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Okay.
Right now, AI is great at following instructions,
Yeah.
but it can't really think for itself or be creative like a person.
This is a really powerful tool, but it's still just a tool.
Right?
It needs a person to guide it, to fix things up, to add that extra meaning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's so exciting about the future of all this.
Okay.
It's not about AI replacing us. It's about AI working with us
I like that.
like a team.
We're seeing that already in other stuff like music and graphic design.
yeah?
AI tools are helping artists do things they never could before.
It's amazing.
And as these tools get better and easier to use,
Right.
we'll see that in video too. Imagine filmmakers using AI to test out different special effects,
Wow.
or teachers making personalized videos for their students.
That's the future.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about the downsides too.
Of course.
The ethical stuff that comes with this tech,
Right.
the potential for abuse, for making deepfakes, for spreading lies.
Yeah, it's a bit scary.
It is kind of
You
unsettling.
have to face those issues head on.
Agreed.
As AI videos get more and more real,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be harder to tell what's true and what's not.
Yeah.
That has huge implications for news politics, even our personal lives.
We're already seeing those deepfakes being used to mess with people and hurt their reputations.
It's true.
It's like we've opened this Pandora's box
Mhm.
and we don't know how to close it.
This is going to take a multi-pronged approach to fix.
Okay.
We need better tech solutions like ways to spot fakes.
Uh-huh.
We also need to teach people about deep fakes so they can be smarter about what they see online.
It's like a digital arms race
You got it?
as AI gets better at making fakes.
Yeah.
We need to get better at spotting them.
Right.
But is education going to be enough?
It's a good question.
Do we need stricter rules laws to punish people who use this tech for bad stuff?
That's a big debate right now.
Yeah.
Some people think rules will slow down innovation. Others think we need them to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a tough one with no easy answers.
And it's not going away anytime soon.
No.
As AI video gets more powerful and more common,
Right.
these ethical problems are just going to get bigger.
Absolutely.
Which brings us back to Sora.
Okay.
OpenAI says they're all about developing AI responsibly. But how do they balance that with the risks of something like Sora?
It's a tightrope walk, isn't it?
Yeah.
They want to push the limits of what's possible,
Right.
but they also have to make sure their tech isn't being used for bad things.
He's a tough spot to be in.
This is where the community has to step up.
Okay.
Developers, researchers, policymakers, everyday users.
Yeah.
We all have a role to play in figuring out the ethical side of AI.
It's not just on OpenAI to fix it.
Exactly. It's on all of us.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about how we talk about it, the rules we make, and how aware we are of the issues.
We need to look beyond the wow factor
Mm-hmm.
and really think critically about what this means for society.
And we need to do that now,
Absolutely.
before this stuff gets so powerful that we can't control it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot.
We have.
Sora's good stuff, it's bad stuff, it's potential, and the ethical tightrope it's walking. For someone listening trying to understand it all,
Yeah.
what's the one thing they should remember about Sora and the future of AI video?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
We're at a really important point right now.
Okay.
AI video isn't science fiction anymore.
Right.
It's changing fast, and it could completely change how we make and watch videos.
Yeah.
But with that power comes responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
We have to use this technology carefully, ethically, and with a critical mind.
So it's not just about being impressed by it. It's about understanding what it means, talking about it, and making sure AI is used for good.
That's it.
And that's why this is so important to talk about.
It's not just about the tech itself.
Yeah.
It's about our stories, our
Yeah.
connections, and how we use these tools to make our lives better and understand the world.
Okay, so we've looked at Sora's strengths, its
Mhm.
weaknesses, the competition, and the ethical stuff.
Yeah.
Where does Sora fit in with everything else that's going on in AI?
Right.
Is it really the leader, or is it going to get overtaken by someone else?
Let's see how Sora stacks up against its rivals,
Okay.
both the big companies and those scrappy open source ones.
All right, so it's time to compare Sora to all these other platforms head to head.
Yeah, let's do it.
How does it really measure up?
Well, when it comes to being user-friendly, Sora's still at the top.
Okay.
That interface is so intuitive, and the workflow is smooth.
Yeah,
Even someone who's never used AI before can pick it up pretty easily.
that's a big plus.
But if you're looking for raw power and flexibility,
Yeah.
some of those open source platforms are giving Sora a real challenge.
Interesting. So it's like the classic trade-off.
Yeah.
Easy to use versus having all the bells and whistles.
Exactly.
So where does that leave Sora in the long run?
Hmm.
Can it stay on top, or are these other platforms going to catch up?
It's a close race for sure.
Yeah.
I think it all comes down to whether Sora can adapt and change.
Okay.
Listen to what users are saying and keep pushing the boundaries.
Right.
OpenAI has a history of innovation,
They do too.
so they're definitely a company to keep an eye on.
But is just being innovative enough?
That's a good question.
We talked about the ethical side of things.
Right.
The potential for misuse, the need for safeguards.
All important stuff.
How does Sora stack up in that area?
Well, OpenAI has been pretty clear about wanting to develop AI responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
They've put some safety measures in place,
Like what?
like limiting the resolution and length of videos on that basic plan
Okay.
to try to make it harder to make deepfakes.
That makes sense. But as the tech gets better,
Yeah,
those safeguards might need to change too.
absolutely. It's a constant back and forth.
Yeah.
As AI gets better at creating realistic content,
Right.
we need to get better at spotting fakes and preventing them.
So it's not just on OpenAI to fix this.
No, it's a shared responsibility.
Okay.
OpenAI can build in those safeguards,
Uh-huh.
but it's up to us as users to be aware of how this stuff can be misused.
And to use it ethically.
Exactly.
So again, it comes back to the human element.
It always does.
The choices we make, the conversations we have, and the ethical lines we draw.
Well said.
Okay, so we've really explored Sora inside and out.
Yeah, I think so.
Its strengths, its weaknesses, the competition, and all the ethical dilemmas.
It's been a good discussion.
If someone's listening to all of this and trying to make sense of it all,
Right.
what's the key takeaway?
What should they really remember about Sora and the future of AI video?
Yeah.
Here's the bottom line.
Okay.
We are at a turning point. AI video generation isn't some far-off fantasy anymore.
Right.
It's here. It's evolving at an incredible speed.
Yeah.
And it has the potential to completely change how we create and experience video content.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
But with all that potential
Okay.
comes a responsibility
Right.
to use this technology wisely, ethically,
Yeah.
and with a critical eye.
It's not just about being impressed by the cool stuff.
No.
It's about understanding the consequences,
Yeah.
joining the conversation, and making sure that AI is used for good.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that's what makes this whole topic so fascinating and important.
It really is.
It's not just about the tech.
Right.
It's about the human stories we tell, the connections we make,
Mm-hmm.
and how we use these tools to improve our lives and understand the world around us.
That's a great way to put it.
Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Sora and the future of AI video generation.
It's been a journey.
We've explored a lot, from the technical wonders to the ethical challenges.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
And hopefully we've sparked some interesting questions along the way.
I think so.
As always, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep engaging with these ideas.
Stay curious, folks.
The future of AI is still being written,
It is.
and your voice, your insights, and your choices will shape that future.
So stay informed and stay involved.
Until next time, happy diving.